Okay, let's talk about manifestation. You've probably seen this word everywhere, right? The promise is, well, it's huge. The idea that you can attract wealth, health, even happiness, pretty much just by thinking about it. But what does the actual science have to say about all this? Well, that's what we're going to dig into. Let's separate the real deal from the hype.
So this really is the big question, isn't it? Can you just think your way to a better life? Is it actually possible to will something into existence? The answer, it turns out, is a little more complicated and honestly way more interesting than a simple yes or no.
And right here, this is the fundamental split. The popular idea of manifestation, the one you see all over social media, often sells this direct line. Your thoughts just magically become your reality. Poof. But what the science actually shows is a three-step process. It goes thought, which influences your behavior, which then shapes your reality. See that? Behavior, that's the missing link. Action is the engine that actually makes the whole thing work.
Okay, so let's set aside that popular version for a second and really look at what the peer-reviewed research tells us. This is where we get our reality check. And the science is incredibly clear on this. For that claim that your thoughts all by themselves can directly cause things to happen in the outside world, that kind of supernatural version, there is just no reliable evidence. It's not a thing.
But hang on, don't go anywhere, because this is where it gets really good. While science kind of debunks the myth, it also points us towards something way more practical, and I'd argue even more powerful, an evidence-based path to actually achieving your goals. So let's build a new model, one that's actually grounded in psychology and neuroscience. This is the real framework for how you can use your mind to create tangible, measurable change in your life. Okay, step one is what researchers call state regulation. Really, this is all about getting your body and your mind into the right zone. Think of it like clearing away all the mental noise and static. By using super simple techniques like slow breathing, you can physically calm your nervous system, lower your stress, and sharpen your focus. You're basically creating a clear runway for takeoff. Now, once you're in that calm, focused state, you move on to component two, suggestion and imagination. And listen, this isn't just aimless daydreaming. This is about the structured use of mental imagery to clarify your goal, to amp up your motivation, and most importantly, to get you ready to actually do something about it. And this chart, this shows the whole evidence-based flow perfectly. So you start over here with a goal, but maybe you're feeling stressed or unclear. So you use a tool like deep breathing to get into a state of relaxation. That lets you focus your attention. From that place, you use your imagination to build a clear picture, which boosts your belief that you can do it. This leads you to make concrete if-then plans, which then drives your actual behavior, which gets you real results that you can look at and learn from. It's a complete cycle of action, not magic. All right, so we have the model. But what are the actual tools? What does science say really works to help you move through that whole process? Let's get practical. But first, a really important warning, and this is a big one. You've probably heard it a million times. Just visualize success. But what if I told you that doing that can actually make you less likely to succeed? So how on earth could that be possible? Well, research on what's called positive fantasies shows that when you only fantasize about the amazing outcome, when you just imagine that you've already achieved your goal, your brain gets a little hit of that reward. Your body literally relaxes, and your energy and motivation to do the hard work can actually drop because, on some level, your brain feels like the job's already done. So what's the better way? There's a technique with solid research behind it called mental contrasting. Here's how it works. First, you vividly visualize your wish, the amazing outcome you want. Let yourself feel it. But then, and this is the absolute key, you immediately pivot and visualize the main obstacle standing in your way, the real one. It's that contrast, that tension between where you want to be and what's stopping you, that actually creates the psychological energy to make a real plan and get moving. And mental contrasting is just one tool in a whole evidence-based toolkit. We've got slow breathing, which has moderate to high evidence for calming your nervous system. There's progressive muscle relaxation, or PMR, for reducing anxiety. The mental contrasting we just covered, which, especially when you pair it with if-then plans, has high evidence for helping you achieve your goals. And process visualization, that's imagining the steps, not just the win, which boosts your readiness to act. Okay, this is all great in theory, right? But how do you actually put it all together into one effective practice? Well, the research gives us a simple, integrated protocol that you can try for yourself. Here it is, a 15-minute exercise that combines everything we've talked about. You start simple, pick a small goal for the next 7 days. Then you spend a few minutes on slow breathing to get calm and centered. You follow that with a short progressive muscle relaxation sequence to release physical tension. Next, you visualize the process, the actual little steps you're going to take. And finally, you create one powerful if-then plan to deal with your main obstacle. This is how you turn a vague wish into a concrete plan.
And to wrap up, just a few really crucial safety notes. Please remember, these are tools for self-regulation. They are not a test of your worth. If you don't reach a goal, it doesn't mean you failed at manifesting. Also, if any of these practices make you feel worse or more anxious, just stop. And this is critical. Never, ever use these imagination techniques to try and dig up traumatic memories. Their purpose is to help you build your future, not to mess with your past.
So after all of this, we end not with some huge cosmic question, but with a simple, powerful one. Forget about manifesting $1 million tomorrow. Instead, what is the first, tiny, concrete step that you're ready to plan for right now? Because that's where the real work and the real results always begin.